What's going on, everybody? We are live. We are live. We're live. We're live. Drop your city and state, like I stated earlier. What are y'all drinking on? Did you have a good week? Did you did you make moves? Did you study? Did you do what you were supposed to do? What's happening? What's popping? What's good? All right. Also, the meetup. Got to make sure you all sign up for the meetup. That will be live next Saturday. Get your RSVP in. If you're not, it's a wrap, right? Get it in, get it in, get it in. I think today's the last day. All right. So, Foolish Finance Fridays. Let me give my shout out first because I said I was gonna do it. I said I was gonna give a shout out to those I saw out this week. Shout out to the Zetas in town. In this area, it's only 1,009 black people. They probably had 1,009 by themselves. So it's 2,000 black people in the area. Shout out to the Zetas. Hope y'all had fun. Hope you enjoy yourself. Hope you got a chance to uh, take in the scenery, take in the air, um, just live life. It's been hot all week. 101, 95, 85. You know, let your things hang. Kind of weather. Get on out there and let your things hang. You know, Jamia, what's going on? You drinking liquid death sparkling water? Which flavor? Which flavor are you drinking? D says she's drinking agua. We don't believe her at all. We don't believe her. She need more people. She need more people. All right, so I'm forewarning you. Today is going to be tonight. It's going to be a petty tea night, a foolish Friday, foolish finance Friday. So let's get into it. Right? Let's get into it. DeSantis passed the law that women can no longer collect alimony forever. So I went and looked up this law, not the one that he just shot down, but I just looked up, alimony, right? So let me blow this up. And if you go look this up, it says if there's no time limit if you've been married over 20 years and there's none over 10, but let's get into this, right? Can I get alimony? And this was updated November the 4th for 2022. Can I get alimony for how many years would I get the payments? Your spouse, it didn't say man or woman, it says your spouse can be ordered to pay you alimony if the judge finds that that you were financially dependent on your spouse during marriage. So let's pause right there. You know who comes to mind? You ought to know. All I really want is to be happy. Find a love that's mine. It will be so sweet. Yes, Mary J. Blige. Let's go ahead while we're talking about Mary J. Let's go ahead and call none other than Faith Evans to the let's call her up. Let's call her. Let's call Faith. Faith, why did you marry that man without a prenup? Why did you marry Stevie J of all people without a renup? Why did you not? Why did you go in? What? You gonna marry Stevie J and then get a prenup? Why? I don't know what y'all doing out here, ladies. I don't know why y'all out here fooling around with your finances. Foolish finance Fridays in the fact y'all out here, y'all giving up all your ends. I think she ended up having to give him $1 million. I think Faith had to give him $1 million. Let's look it up. Faith and Stevie J alimony. Yeah. Stevie J wins spousal support in divorce from uh Faith. He wins spousal support. She was the breadwinner. Rihanna better get it together. I heard they was married, but Rihanna better get it together. All right, Faith has finally settled with her messy divorce from Stevie J. The soul singer has agreed to pay her ex spousal support. In court documents obtained on Monday, it's still a little small. Let me blow it up there. In court documents obtained on Monday, July the 3rd, Evans is said to have informed the court that she has entered into a written agreement regarding their property and their marriage and domestic support partnership rights. Right? The Love Like This singer. They got that right. I never knew another love like this before. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And Stevie J is like, never had someone to show me love. Stevie J is over there like the love like this before. He cashing checks. He's like, what's your zodiac sign? Come on, Fat Man Scoop remix. Right? While Stevie J has made public pleas to win Evans back, she wanted the latest filing to confirm irreconcilable differences that led to their dissolved marriage. Let's go see how much she had to give. I think it was 1 million. Faith Renee Jordan, I hurt you, blah blah blah. From this day forward, I promise, blah blah blah. Oh, they don't show how much. He didn't say how much. Yeah, here it is right here. Thank you, Bossip. Okay, gets no love. The two can da 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 da. Okay, here it is right here. Right here. Despite online comments about the $1 million amount, the exact details of the divorce settlement is still not public. Apparently, R&B singer submitted a copy to the court and is reportedly includes her covering Stevie J's spousal support and even his attorney fees. She had to cover his attorney fees on top of that. People like Faith got money like that? Yes. Yes. What y'all don't realize, Faith is a writer too. She writes. She wrote songs. Stop hating on Faith. Faith wrote songs. That's why I don't understand why she ain't one but protecting herself. And then I gotta wonder if he got access to the catalog. Did he get access to the catalog? What? Let's go look and see what she's written. Not Faith. We put it Faith Evans. Let's go look. All right. So here's some songs written by Faith. Gone Already. She wrote that. Dumb. Get Home. Letter to Big. You Used to Love Me. True Song. Think of You. Think of You. Usher. You all right? Stressed Out. Tribe Called Quest. Bryson Tiller. Set It Off. Right? Got Me Down. I mean, got to be down. Gone Already. I Deserve It. I'll Be Missing You. Yeah, like Faith got songs. The following 31 pages are in category out of the 31 total. So, yeah. Faith got songs. Did you know Faith wrote these songs for other people? Here we go. Tony Thompson, High Five, I Know. Mary J. Blige, Don't Go, Baby Don't Go. Mm, Baby Duck, ooh, ooh. Right? Case, Don't Be Afraid. Total, Spend Some Time on Nifa, I Miss You. Don't Waste Your Time. SWV, So For Real. I'm Coming Home. Color Me Bad. On My Mind. Tevin Campbell, The Only One For Me. The girl got a pen. And you weren't going to protect that? I'm calling her out to the call. calling her out. Oh, and look right here. It says LSG all the times. Faith was featured on this song along with Coco and SWV and Missy Elliott from the Levert Sweat and Gill album. She also had a hand in penning the song. And you ain't gonna protect these hits. Her and Donnell Jones wrote this together. Faith Evans, Faith co-wrote this song with Mary J. Blige for Tony Thompson. Mary J. Blige co-wrote this song. Mary, I don't know why you ain't had no prenup. Why you got married with no prenup? Y'all out here blind. Out here like I love him. I love him. No, no, no. So let's get back to it. Your spouse can be ordered to pay your alimony if the judge finds out you were financially dependent on your spouse. Stevie J was financially dependent on her. Same way with what's his name? Kumar. What's his name? Umar. What was Mary J husband name? Sleaze, Haze, whatever his name was. Whatever that man name was. Financially dependent. Then she stopped letting her sister manage her money. Can do, can't do. Then she started letting her sister manage the money. Then let Ken do start managing. What? And it says you can prove you were dependent if all of the following apply. Let's talk about it. You relied on your spouse for financial support. You don't have sufficient property, including marital property, to provide for your needs, and you're unable to support yourself through work or cannot work due to the caring for a child whose conditions make it inappropriate for you to work. I read them again. You relied on your spouse for financial support. Let's pause right there. How many times on the YouTube? How many times on the podcast? How many times on all these shows, on all these things? Every man be like, I don't want my wife to work. She gonna be at home with me. She gonna be at home with the kids. I don't want her to work. Okay, you don't want her to work. Okay, well, according to the law, sir, sir, if she relied on you for financial support and doesn't have sufficient property, including marital property, to provide for her needs, and is unable to support, it could be either one of these. Financial support, she can't support herself because she got to stay at home with the children. Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. You're responsible for her after marriage. You're responsible for her after marriage. So keep spouting. You don't want her to work. Keep spouting. You want her to stay at home with the kids. Keep spouting that. That's fine. You know what else is fine too? You know that 401k you got that grows while y'all are married? She entitled to that too. Yeah. So when y'all be sitting up here, this is the killer about it. You wrote the laws. You wrote the law. We just following. We just following along. We are a part of the Rhythm Nation. We just following along. Right? It says this: even if you can prove you are the dependent party, there are still many factors a judge would consider when deciding if you would get alimony and how much you would get. See what factors a judge consider when deciding whether or not, I can get alimony. Alimony payments can be ordered to start while the divorce is still pending. Facts. Mary J. Blige had to pay $30,000 a month while the divorce was going on to Can Do. To Can't Do. She had to pay the to Can't Do. Right? Right. It also says here, it says alimony payments can be ordered to start while the divorce is still pending in court, which is known as an interim or temporary alimony. And for a period of time after the divorce is finalized, the court will determine how long you or the other party will receive alimony. If you have been married for 20 years or longer, there's no limit to how long you can receive alimony. If you have been married for 20 years or longer, there is no limit to how long you can receive alimony. Well, no limit soldiers. I thought I told you. Right? However, if you were married less than 20 years, you cannot collect alimony for more than 50% of the length of marriage. For example, if you were married for 10 years, you could collect alimony for up to 5 years. Now, the other part is, and we're gonna get into this in one of these in here, the woman can collect, or the man can collect, if you were collect Social Security if you were married for 10 years or more. You can collect the Social Security for 10 years or more. So, fellas, if she the breadwinner, you might want to stay married to her for 10 years. Ladies, if you want to do it, you're gonna have to stay married to her ladies, you want to do it, you guys be married in the game for 10 years. 10 years is your goal. Right? 10 years is your goal. All right. So this is gonna be controversial, right? I'm gonna bring it up now. I'm gonna move this over to here, and we're gonna talk about this. And I want to ask this question: should black women keep having children? Should black women keep having children? Should you keep having children? Ask yourself that. Is it financially responsible for you to keep having children? Right? Serena almost died. You get blamed if you have children. It's your fault that you received the sperm and didn't have the child. It's your fault. So should you keep having children? I'm asking a question. Should you keep having children? Should you get married and have children? And if you do, what are the precautions that you need to take? What are the precautions that you need to put in place? Is modern medicine really helping you, or is it actually harming you? This is a financial question, because the financial question part of this is, do you have enough money to have children? And if there are complications, do you have the right insurance involved? Do you have the right time off? Does the man that you're having children with, or if you're adopting, or whatever the case may be, do you have enough to cover any complications? Right? Do you have a will in place in case you pass on? Right? Let's go. The United Nations Population Fund found black women are more likely than white women to be denied medication, or experience physical abuse in healthcare settings. Physical abuse in healthcare settings. Black women are more likely, and let me pull this up a little bit more for you all because it looks small. Black women are more likely to die during or soon after childbirth due to systemic racism and sexism in the medical system, not genetics or lifestyle, according to the United Nations. That's according to the United Nations. That's not according to Crawford Long. That's not according to Grady. That's not according to Duke Medical. That's not according to UW Medical. That's according to the UN. The UN agency, the United States Population Fund, released a report, and here's the report on these issues after analyzing the healthcare experience for Black women during pregnancy and childcare and childbirth in the United States, in the Caribbean, and in Latin America, the diaspora. Again, in the United States, in the Caribbean, and in Latin America. The agency found that Black women were more likely than white women to experience denial of medication or physical and verbal abuse in these settings. Among the reasons are patterns of bias beginning in medical school. According to the report, medical school curricula include claims that Black women's health that are not accurate. Among those is that Black women are less sensitive nerve endings, requiring less anesthesia. Another error is that Black women's blood clots faster than white women. This can lead to this led to delays in treating dangerous hemorrhages. Textbook depict European women's pelvic anatomy, which can cause unnecessary interventions. Most nations did not collect maternal health or death by race. Although researchers looked at 35 countries, only 9 had data to be included. We're not even taking in the data of Black women. You are a non-factor. Those were Brazil, Costa Rica, Cuba, Panama, Suriname, Trinidad, Tobago, and the United States and Uruguay. These are the only ones that had data. Of those countries, the United States had the lowest overall maternal death rate, but the widest racial disparities. The investigators found Black women in the United States were 3 times more likely to die during or soon after childbirth than white women. The problems persist across income and education level. Black women with a college degree were 1.6 times more likely to die in childbirth compared with women who dropped out of high school. So you go to school, you get an education, you get your degrees, you get your insurance, you work out, you find someone that loves you, so forth and so on, you still die. Right? The overall death ratio of maternal deaths per 100,000 live births grew by 15% throughout Latin America. So again, fellas, let me holler at you for a second. Y'all saying you're getting your passports, right? And you going to Latin America and so forth. She might die. You may still be a single baby daddy. Shout out to Darius. North America and the Caribbeans between 2016 and 2020. So, fellas, this is what I'm gonna say to you. You going to Latin America, you're saying you're choosing better, you're picking better, you got your passport, Wings Up, Spirit, shout out Frontier, shout out Southwest, shout out. Some of you not may fly Delta or not, I don't know. But you got your wings up, you're flying out. You're going to choose better. She might die. And so then you're having a kid in Latin America, which is not a citizen of the United States, because now you want to come back and get possibly, potentially better health care. But guess what? Your child is now a citizen of the country in which they're in. They're not a citizen of the United States. They're not born here. So get your money up. I'm just reporting the facts. She has the potential to die. Right? UN officials called the reexamination of the medical school curricula, strengthening policies around denial of patient care and patient abuse, as well as to get around structural barriers such as transportation and insurance to ensure prenatal care. The agency called for better data collection. You can get all the data you want if ain't nobody gonna abide by the rules, and then nobody gonna make sure you all right. Let me read some of this stuff in the chat, D, because they was going off in the chat, and I was like, let me see what you're talking about. That's a wild question and an unfortunate one that needs to be asked. Yes. Charlena said at 35, my second child, I had my second child and ended up with pregnancy related heart failure and many doctors not listening to me, and it got worse. Sorry you had to experience that. You're still here with us. I hope everything is okay now, or is working out to be okay. You're leaning to a no. Absolutely not. I think as women we make the best of the situation, but later on financially ruined, sick, and raising a child alone is not awesome. Journey to Jasmine, you say having a plan. What's the plan? Because I think you can have all the plans, and it's not. From reading these stats, the plan don't work. Right? Um, TechRx, check out those 9 countries that were listed here: the Caribbean, Latin America. What was that? Here, right here. Brazil. I would love to know what Brazil, Costa Rica. I would love to know what Brazil and Colombia and Costa Rica and Cuba, Panama. I would love to know what their stats are individually. I would love to know. I would love to know what the birth rates and death rates are of women having children there. Right? I would love to know because I know in Costa Rica they be looking at black people like they crazy, but whatever. That's another story, another time. Charlene Edwards said modern medicine helps, but if you don't have the right insurance, yes, you can end up dying and or being ignored. Exactly. There are a lot of folks that I wish would rethink procreating, especially looking at these destructive spawns in the streets who are mostly coming from poor households. I think they coming from everybody's household. You welcome. Yep. Yep. You're welcome. And it says, yes, they don't answer the call bell at the nurse's station when you need, and they give you placebo medication because your insurance won't cover the best. Exactly. Yeah. And I've said this before in the manosphere spaces that it is really I don't care how old the woman is, especially the younger ones, black women, period, across all age ranges, it is actually dangerous. It has been proven to be dangerous. It has been proven to be dangerous. So the question becomes now to me is okay, you want to say, hey, stop dating black women, don't date black women, this, that, and other. I'm taking it one step further to say, should black women even be having kids anymore? Not because of what they're stating, but because of health concerns, insurance concerns, money concerns. You have a child, the child is sickly. Do you have the right insurance? Do you have enough time off at your job? Is the father going to help? Do you have family support? Do you have a supportive a group of friends or support or just external family, right? Or extended family? Do you have that? I'm asking the question of, is it safe? Are you mentally protected? Are you physically protected? Financially? Insurance? Are you actually safe? And I think this is a bigger question that I think younger women need to also ask too is once you get with this man, does he have proper insurance? Because you're choosing to stay at home. Does he even have the proper medical insurance? Does he even have enough money to cover any complications during that pregnancy? That's even a bigger question. You want to talk about vetting? Let's vet that. right? It says one of my friends had her first and last child over a decade ago, married, college educated, and almost died during childbirth. She has heart failure and has a pacemaker now due to childbirth. Right? You're doing more than giving your own life up. You're doing way more than that. You said, I think we all know the answer to your question, Tam, but many younger women don't want to look at it in the face. It's a hard pill to swallow for everybody. It's a hard pill to swallow for everybody. So I don't care if you go to Latin America. I don't care if you go to Brazil. I don't care if you go to Trinidad. I don't care if you go to Costa Rica. They got the same issues. Again, you could be a baby daddy in Costa Rica, just like you could be a baby daddy here in America. So the question becomes now, we're talking about vet women better, vet men better. You need to vet the doctors, your insurance, where you work at, what type of job you take in, what type of job you are actually looking for. You need to be strategic and you need to make good financial decisions, because not only does your life depend upon it, your children's life depends upon it, your future children's life depends on it, and your future wife life depends on it, or girlfriend or partner, however you want to slice that up. Because you as the man are the one that's going to be the breadwinner. If you want her to sit at home, if you want her to be there to take care of those children, if you want her to be at home taking them and running them back to the doctor, you're the one that has to make sure the insurance is okay. You're the one that has to make sure that everything that that woman and that child need now and for the future is okay. Now to ask yourself this question: are you ready for that? Are you ready to go to war? And that's the war you're facing. Are you ready for that war? If you're not ready for that war, don't sign up. Just asking. Just asking. Because at the end of the day, medicine costs, treatment costs, running back and forth to the doctor costs, time, the effort, the particular medicine. You're not ready for these conversations. You're ready for someone to come into your life and take care of you and do as you say. But here's the flip side of all of that is, when that child enters the world and that child is sick, you got to do what the doctors say, and you got to do what the insurance tells you have to do, because your insurance may not cover that, whatever that is for that child. So when we sit up here and we have these discussions about who gonna do what and who needs to be feminine, submissive, and all of that stuff, are you gonna be submissive to your insurance plan, or you'll have none? Oh, okay. Oh, you want to have 5 kids? Oh, you didn't know in your gene from maybe two generations ago, somebody had some type of illness and it came out and it jumped into one of your children, and so now one of your children needs extensive care. It's not just autism, it's other things. The older your sperm gets, the more the more likely your child could have issues as well too. So stop. What are we talking about here? You first need to vet your job and your insurance. That's the first thing you need to vet. Stop vetting a woman and go vet your insurance policy. Go vet your insurance plan. Then you need to worry about whether or not is she just healthy, but do you have a good relationship with a doctor? And does she have a good relationship with a doctor? Have you went and tested your sperm? Have you went and tested everything in your family? Have you done a gene check for yourself? Is a heart condition in your family? Do you have cancer that's hereditary in your family? You can have prostate cancer that's hereditary in your family. And now you just giving all your male children prostate cancer because it's hereditary, because it's a rare gene that you just continue to give out. What we talking about? We ain't talking about nothing. Let's go on. I'm done. We ain't talking about nothing. We don't want to have that conversation. We don't. This is a report. This report came out July the 12th of 2023. Internal health analysis of women and girls of African descent in the Americas. Right? It's in the Americas. Let me download it, I guess. Blow it up. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. This is what I mean about having the finances. This is foolish finance Friday. And if it's too heavy for you, I'm telling y'all now, get out the kitchen because I got more. But what I'm simply saying is we can no longer sit over here and have this conversation about, okay, we're gonna have these children when most of our children can't read past the fourth grade. That's first. They can't read, they can't write past the fourth grade. Then on top of that, the children that can't read and write past the fourth grade got illnesses that they don't know that they have. They just know they sick all the time. They don't know why. And their mama and them, or their mama and their daddy don't have the right insurance or don't have no insurance at all. Or the mom or the father works a job, but the insurance costs too much to take out, so they can't take out insurance in them. Then y'all want to go get medical assistance from Obamacare or from whatever, and then you get put into this box because you go onto the system to try to get some care because your child needs that care because you don't want your child to die. But then over here on the same token, at the same side, you're gonna chastise this mama and tell her she ain't nothing. And they must have came from your side because it didn't come from my side. Well, you don't even know your mama and your daddy, or you adopted, or you ain't never seen your daddy. You don't even know what your mama looked like because she left you. Like, get real. Like, we gotta do better. It's not just about vetting the woman and vetting the man. It's all these things. Some of you run around here and then you get mad and y'all go off and y'all get married and then you don't ask questions like, did you get your GED? So now you dating a man or a woman who don't have a GED, who didn't graduate and don't have a high school diploma, and then you expecting the kids to be phenomenal. You're expecting it, and you're expecting the school to take care of the child and make this phenomenal child. I need for the school to teach you how to read and write because I can't do it. I need for the school to teach you how to write a check because I ain't never had a checking account, so I can't show you how to write a check. I don't even know how to open up a checking account. I just go to the check cashing place and get my checks done, right? I cash my checks there. Or maybe you go to the bank in which that company banks with. They're doing it all backwards. You don't even live in a good school district, so the child doesn't even really have a good chance because they don't even have no books in the school. And you can't afford to move into a good school district because you don't make enough money and you don't have enough skills in order to get in that good school district, which probably 9 times out of 10 is predominantly white. And the housing is through the roof, so you can't even afford to live in that area. And you only got one car because you can't afford the insurance for two cars, and you can't afford the tolls, and on top of that, you can't afford the maintenance for it, having two cars. So therefore, you got to make do. But oh, by the way, when you go make do, the person that you procreated with is not even sound mind to even understand how to help your child do multiplication, how to help the child do addition, how to help their child to do algebra. So then you say, I'm gonna take the child to church. We're gonna go to church to see what the church got. And the church is looking at you like, I need your tithes first. If I don't have your tithes, I can't do nothing with you. So now you got to give them your tithes, your last $20, because you're looking for something, some kind of help somewhere, some faith, some hope somewhere. Somebody got to offer something. Somebody got to help me somehow. And then now you sitting here. That $20 that you just spent was your last 20, but by faith and by God, you hope and pray that you make it through the week. Meanwhile, back at the school, your child is going to school hungry. Your child going to school in the same clothes. Your child can't even take a bath because they turned the water off. Ain't no lights. We gotta pick one. Lights or water this month. What we doing? But yet and still, but yet and still, mm, men are the prize. Let's go. All right. Let's see what kind of data they got in here. It says findings one, Afro descended women and girls in Americas are disadvantaged before, during, and after pregnancy. Two, Afro descendant maternal deaths in particular are alarmingly high in both absolute terms and when compared to those of non Afro descent and non indigenous women in the region. Three, structural racism and sexism are evident in maternal health disparities that exist across income levels and national and regional borders. Right? And they give the causes here. I'm gonna skip those. It says right here, blood it up a little bit. National governments, international organizations, and healthcare providers in the region can meet the maternal and sexual reproductive health needs of Afro descendant women and girls by addressing the root causes of structural racism, sexism, and discrimination. No, that's not going to happen. I'm trying to see if they got some stats. Here we go. I want some stats. Maternal mortality ratio among women age, and it's funny, y'all, the women are classified as a woman at the age of 15. That's really funny that women are classified as a woman at the age of 15, but we won't get into that. From 15 to 49 years old, right? Per 1,000 live births, 185, 55, 93. Let's see what we're looking at. On the left hand side, we got Afro descent. On the right hand side, or the gold color, is non-African, non-Afro descent. So let's go see what they're saying here. It says statistically significant at 5% level in the United States. The sample consists of women and consists of girls and women aged 15 to 44. It's crazy that they're considering 15 to 44, right? This number right here. This is all. This is what I always ask fellas. Can your 15-year-old girl, can your 15-year-old woman, let me say it how they putting it. Can your 15-year-old woman date a man that's 25? Can your 15-year-old date a man that's 25? She's had a period. She's a woman. Can your 15-year-old date a man that's 25? She can have a baby. She's a woman. It says the figure one report um, pregnancy related deaths for women and the girls in these three countries. It says blah, 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 skip the countries are the only countries in the study that publish race disaggregated data for on the MMR. The MMR for Afro descent women and girls far outstrips that of non-Afro descent women and the girls in all three countries. Let me hop over here. Here, right here. The literature on the related deaths demonstrate that across the Americas, cardiovascular conditions, eclampsia, preeclampsia, and cardiomyopathy are leading preventable causes of maternal death for women and girls. For women and girls, let me clarify. Let me keep saying that for women and girls, but that women and girls of African descent experience these outcomes of rates at up to 5 times more those of than whites of white women and white girls. It says social determinants fail to account for these differences because they persist despite socioeconomic status and education. For example, in the United States, the pregnancy-related mortality rate for Afro-descendant women who completed college education or higher is 5.2 times higher than that for white women with the same educational attainment. So what it sounds like to me, this is just my own, this on my own shenanigans. This is just me. This is Tamika talking. It sounds like black men, y'all need to go date white women. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Because the white women ain't even protecting the black women anyway. And none of the Afro descent, right? It says non-Hispanic African American women and girls are 3 times more likely to die while they're pregnant, while pregnant or within 42 days of giving birth from non-Hispanic white women in the United States. Maternal deaths, regardless of income and education levels, the maternal deaths among African American women, African American college graduates, is 1.6 times that of women with a white women with a high school diploma. Right. So this right here in gold are really showing you the deaths, that how much higher the deaths are of women from 2017 to 2021. It increased. Look, we went from 117 to 190. When it comes down to Asian American or Asian period, you can see here they got really low in 2019 and they continue to decrease. It got a little up and then it went back down. Right. And here's the ones for Costa Rica, Cuba, Panama, Trinidad, Uruguay, Brazil, Colombia. I'll put this PDF in the chat. You all can read through that. Drop a one in the chat if you like what we're talking about today. Let's go. All right. Where women are gaining the most jobs? Where are women gaining the most jobs? Women workforce, the women's, you can't see it because it's small, but let me go back. It says the women workforce participation hit a new high in June with a record share of women from 25 to 54 holding jobs. Here are the 5 industries where women have seen the biggest gains since 2021. The first one, leisure and hospitality. The second one is transportation and warehousing. Women gained 329,000 jobs in that area, a gain of 21.9% or 22%. Mining and logging, 15.1%. Information, meaning technology. Women gained 156,000 jobs. The pandemic fueled the tech boom, enabled large numbers of women to join the ranks of tech firms. Although there were layoffs, those made only a small dent in the total gains. Construction, 136,000 jobs. Some women are out here doing construction, right? While women are making big gains in some industries, they still earn a fraction of their male counterpart wages at just. All right, let's go. I thought this was interesting. Former Celsius CEO was arrested and the company agrees to pay the $4.7 billion settlement. Federal prosecutors unveiled 7 charges against former Celsius CEO Alex, Mashinsky, and a key executive, Ronnie Cohen Pavin, alleging fraud and securities manipulation. The SEC announced charges against Mashinsky and bankrupts crypto exchange. The FTC announced a $4.7 billion settlement against the exchange, which will not be paid until the creditors and investors have been repaid in the bankruptcy proceedings. There he is. He don't look trustworthy. Former CEO Alex Mashinsky was arrested Thursday on federal securities fraud at the bankrupt crypto exchange. Agreed to the 4.7 billion settlement with the FTC. Celsius and Mashinsky were also sued by the Securities or the SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission in complaints accusing them of scheming to defraud investors out of billions. He pleaded not guilty in Manhattan federal court, where he is charged with securities, commodities, wire fraud, as well as various securities manipulation and fraud charges. If convicted, Mashinsky and a co-defendant, Ronnie Cohen Pavin, faced decades in prison. Now let's pause there with that. He told me this morning, and I didn't go look it up. But your girl, Elizabeth, only got 2 years, folks. She stole billions. Elizabeth Holmes gets 2 years knocked off her sentence. She got 2 years knocked off her sentence, friends. D is wrong. She got 2 years knocked off. Let's see what she got. Holmes is sentenced to 11 years in prison. She got 2 years knocked off, D. So she got 9, D. She got 9. She got 9, D. But that may come down. She may not do 9. She may do a hot 5. She may do a hot 5. But your boy over here, Celsius settlement is one of the largest in the Federal Trade Commission history, close to a record $5 billion fine levied against Meta in 2019, and highlights that the FTC described as a repeated deceptions by Celsius and Mashinsky. Right? We saw XRP surge. But I brought this up because, again, earlier this year, New York prosecutors accused Mashinsky of orchestrating a $20 billion fraud against investors. $20 billion. $20 billion. And I saw it earlier. We argue about 45K. He over here getting 20 billion. $20 billion. Right? Let's go. Buffett says, don't do dumb things. Buy these instead. And I was like, what are the dumb things? Even geniuses have made costly mistakes. Humility and emotional intelligence are essential qualities for an investor. I'm staying away from frenzies and I'm buying these plus 7% yields to boost my passive income. This is the guy that we did last year, earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago with the 300 with the 300. I think it was 300 million. It's turned 300 million. He's grew it to 300 million. I think he's got an average return of like 10% or something like that. All right. All right. So let's see what he's talking about. He said, and let's blow that up some. When it comes to money, even the greatest investors have made terrible decisions. The poor decisions are not made intentionally, but are consequences of falling prey to emotions that drive the financial market and impact buying and selling decisions of investors. Fear and greed, pessimism, optimism, fear of missing out, and panic and euphoria. The ruthless grip on the market showed no mercy even to some of the most powerful, wealthy, and influential people. Let us review a few investment blunders made by renowned individuals. Are y'all ready for these blunders? All right. The Dutch tulip mania in the 1600s is a testament to the unforgiving consequences of misguided investments, highlighting the lasting impact of foolish decisions. Cornelius van der, I guess, Lind, the governor general of the Dutch East Indies, was reported to have invested heavily in tulip bulbs during the peak of the tulip mania. Even someone of his stature position was not immune to the allure of the tulip bulb speculation. Like many others, he was caught up in a craze and suffered significant financial loss. Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton, one of the greatest mathematicians and scientists of all time, was also known to be a cautious investor. Much of his money was tucked away into government bonds, delivering regular income streams, but he failed to control his fear of missing out, FOMO, with the South Sea Company. Disappointed for missing out on the boom and tempted by his friend's success with the South Sea Company, Newton re entered and suffered losses worth millions of dollars in the 21st century money. Bill, Bill Ackman. A more recent example of dumb mistakes comes from the Valiant Pharma investment by the founder of Pershing Square Capital Management. Bill caused enormous loss for his hedge fund with an outsized position in the stock while failing to see several red flags in the investment, including the complicated operating model and the management team's competence. Human beings are inherently greedy and impatient. How many of you suffer from being greedy and impatient? I probably suffer from impatience. I don't know. I'll let D answer that. There's no shortage of dumb things we will see around us from investors letting emotions guide our decision making, right? So here's the ones that they picked that are returning 7% RVT. In several cases, business termed as small caps are those operating in niche industries, underserved areas of the market. So RVT is the number one pick there. I won't read all of this because it's a lot. Number two, Key preferred shares. The Key Corporation up to 7.8% on the yield. So you can look these up. I'm just going off of the ticker. RVT. Key is the other ticker. Let's keep going. Oh, and those are the ones he had. Key. And he said here in the conclusion, let me see. Stay away, basically, the cryptocurrency craze, the NFT madness, and the ecstasy, or the AI inception for 400 years. The global financial markets have ensnared investors with a multitude of pitfalls, exploiting the vulnerabilities created by human emotions. Right? So stick to things that you do know, stick to things that you do understand when you're doing investing. Here's another one. Buffett says, explains value investing. What gives you opportunities in other people doing dumb things. All right. It says, what gives you opportunities is other people doing dumb things. The Oracle Omaha Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholder meeting. Value investing typically refers to buying underappreciated stocks or businesses when others are selling them at a discount. Right? Right? Oh, again, value investing typically refers to buying unappreciated stocks or businesses when others are selling them at a discount and then holding them for long term. This approach has led to some of Buffett's biggest investments. You know what's an unappreciated that people do it all the time that you probably don't even realize. I'm gonna name you one thing. I'm gonna see if you guess it first. What's the one thing that people buy and hold and you never even pay attention to the fact that they bought and hold it? What's the one more? What's one thing? And it's in the black community that this happens in. It's the one thing. You walk past it all the time. You drive past land. Land. That's the one thing in the black community. If y'all see an empty lot, go buy it. Hold on to the lot. Hold on to the lot. That's all the people do. They just buy the land, especially in the black community, because they know y'all gonna walk past it and sell it for $5,000 or $10,000. Ain't nobody doing nothing with it, and they'll hold it for 10 years. You see the lot that's empty, buy it. Right? It's underappreciated, especially in the black community. It's underappreciated. During the 2008 financial crisis, the legendary investor bought Bank of America, which is still one of the biggest holdings. He also acquired shares of Goldman Sachs, but has since sold his stake in the banking giant. Buying when others are selling in fear has in part helped Berkshire whopping return of 3,787,464% from 1965 through the end of last year. That's way more than the S&P 500. And while Buffett acknowledges that the world is changing, he thinks value investing opportunities abound. Right? Let me see if they got some ideas. No, they don't have none. All right. Buffett is out. We talked about him. It's time for the foolish stuff. All right. I don't want to read that one first. We'll get rid of Faith here. We'll get rid of Elizabeth Holmes. We talked about the alimony. But let's do this one. My husband is still paying my ex-wife alimony after 25 years. Will it finally end when he dies? I went over the divorce stuff. She was in it. She's probably in it for more than 10 years, and he's paying alimony, right? All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. She was given half of his retirement. Again, I love the word she was given. She earned half of his retirement if they were married, and that money, and this is how it works also too for you all with your 401k. If you were married and you had a 401k and she had a 401k and that money earned while you were married, she or he is entitled to that. I don't make the laws. You did. Right? She was given half of his retirement funds when they divorced all those years ago. He's now retired. All right. My husband and I are happily married, and I am listed as his beneficiary on his life insurance, his retirement, and his retirement accounts. He has also been divorced for about 25 years. He's still paying her court ordered spousal support every month because she hasn't remarried or died. Because she hasn't remarried or died. She's like, she ain't dead and she ain't remarried. One of the two. She either need to get married or die. Right? The ex-wife was given half of his retirement funds when they discovered all those years ago. That much I am aware of. However, he is now retired. What I need to know is if he passes away, because she's like, if he die, Will she be entitled to receiving spousal support from his estate? She want to know if he dies, does she still get some of this money? Right? Let's go. Dear current wife, I'm not privy to your husband's divorce decree, but typically spousal support, otherwise known as alimony, dies with the supporting spouse unless they have otherwise agreed another arrangement in writing. So the short and happy answer for you is no. But you may have seen that coming. There may be room for maneuver regarding how otherwise agreed is interpreted according to Feinberg, right? A law firm in Los Angeles. This is the advice the law firm gives to theoretical ex-spouse. You should immediately contact your divorce lawyer and have them have him or her review the divorce decree to see whether there is language or absence of language in the court order that would cause the obligation to continue after your ex's death. The law firm adds. It says, as the old saying goes about money, you can't take it with you, but in the case of alimony, it appears you actually can. Spousal support was traditionally, let's read this out loud together, fellas. Fellas, let's read this out loud. Spousal support was traditionally introduced because one partner, typically the wife, gave up her career, stayed at home to raise the children. It has remained a key part of divorce negotiations in order to maintain the lower earning spouse's pre divorce lifestyle. Your husband's situation seems unusual. In California, a community property spousal support is often based on the length of the marriage. The Office of Rankin and Associates in San Diego says spousal support may be paid for up to half the length of the marriage that lasts 10 years or less. Unions that lasted 10 years are considered long term, and no specific duration will apply, it adds. If parties were separated at any point prior to divorce, the length of the separation period may be taken into account when deciding on the support award. Some hope for your husband. Divorce court may only modify your spouse's support if he could demonstrate a material change in his circumstances. The change must be substantial and the material and material, such as decrease in income, the firm says. A person is entitled to collect on an ex spouse security benefits if the marriage lasted 10 years or more, the collecting spouse did not remarry, and they are at least 62 years of age. It's not uncommon for an ex spouse to receive one half of their former partner's pension during the earned during the marriage. I'll read it again. The person is entitled to collect on an ex spouse's Social Security benefits if the marriage lasted 10 years or more. The collecting spouse did not remarry and they are at least 62 years of age. It's not uncommon for an ex spouse to receive one half of their former partner's pension earned during the marriage. Regardless of what happens with spousal support, I wish you and your husband a long, happy life in retirement together, and I hope these alimony payments don't impact it adversely. As the old saying goes about money, you can't take it with you, but in this case of alimony, it appears that you can. All right. So, ladies, 10 years or more. If you are married to a guy 10 years or more and you were that man can go for your social security. Same way with the fellas. If you're married 10 years or more, she can go for your social security. It does not, from what I was reading, it does not affect your portion of social security. If you're supposed to get paid 1,500, you'll get paid your 1,500. and she'll get paid whatever it is. It does not deduct from you getting paid what you're supposed to get paid. This is why the Social Security has that survivorship fund and so forth. But later story, another time. I'm just here to inform you. All right, let's go on to this one. And then I got a video. I got a video. It says, it was quite a shock. Can I sue my sister for my father's ashes? He died 7 months ago, but she never told me. It was quite a shock. Can I sue my sister for my father's ashes? He died 7 months ago, but she never told me. I only found out last week that my father passed away 7 months ago. The wife, the second wife, she could collect. She'll be fine. It says, my older sister put my father in a nursing home without telling us. And after a few visits, she removed me from the visitation list. Mm. My older sister, Tracy, alienated me and my middle sister when my parents needed our help to care for them. Although we tried to help with my parents' care, it had always been on Tracy's timeline. She wanted to dictate when, where, and what time we should help. If we didn't abide by her rules, we couldn't see them. Tracy put my father in a nursing home without telling us, and after I visited a few times, she removed me from the visitation list. My middle sister and I had to jump through hoops to visit him. Tracy then moved my father into her house and threatened that when my parents passed away, she would have them cremated and not even tell us. Vicious little something, aren't we? What's going on, NX Group? How you doing? My mother is 78 and has told me my oldest sister bought a cremation plan for her as well. What is this daughter got? This vendetta? She is like, y'all all gonna go up in flames. Now this is petty, right? This is petty. It says, I found out last week that my father passed away. Even months ago, it was quite a shock. So here's my question. Can I sue my sister for my father's ashes? We live in Texas. I have a power of attorney dated 1999. I'm sure Tracy has one that's more recent than mine, but my father also had dementia before he died. I don't know if I should sue her now or wait for my mother to pass because Tracy is doing the same thing with her. My mother is 78 and has told me that Tracy bought a cremation plan for her as well. I asked my mother if she wanted to be cremated or buried, and she said she wasn't sure. What is the best course of action? The youngest of three sisters. Would y'all want your mother and father ashes? Y'all want your mother and father ashes? Do you put them on the mantle? What do you do with those ashes? Do you have them? Do you keep them? Do you put them in your bedroom? Do you put the ashes in your bedroom? I mean, what are you doing? In the decade I have been writing this column, I have to say this is probably the most unusual question I have received. I have read some surprising stories of people behaving badly, families fighting over wills, people loaning friends money and living to regret it, and the pesky in-laws to stay and eat in their host out of house and home. But it appears that your sister has acted in an extremely bizarre manner, and you are left with the conundrum over your father's remains. Can you sue? Sure, you can do anything you like. Should you? No. Here's why. Each state has rules about funerals, inheritance, and remains. In Texas, custody of a person's remains go to whoever was listed in the will by the descendant, that is your father, or if there is no will, to the next of kin, who is in case is your mother. Who a person's next of kin is obviously depends on the family circumstances of that person upon their death. If you die after both of your parents and you did not have children, for example, your siblings would be your next of kin and would decide what to do with the remains. If you do not leave a will dictating what you want to happen to them and to your estate, that's something to think about for the future. Leaving the issue of your father's ashes aside, two important issues remain, and they are related to your mother's well-being and her final wishes. Both of these issues are within her and your control. First, in Texas, she can sign a disposition of remains document, which allows a third party to carry out your mother's wishes regarding what will be done with her body after she dies. That would include whether she wishes to be buried or cremated. And if she is cremated, what would happen with those ashes? What if the named third party does not act? This is a presumption that he or she is unable or unwilling to make funeral arrangements. In that case, the person's rights will be terminated and the right to control the disposition passes to the next person in line of priority. If the person who makes funeral arrangements is not an appointed executor or administrator, he or she is liable for reasonable funeral costs and can be reimbursed for that cost from the descendant's estate. Second, isolation is one of the hallmarks of financial abuse, and while that may or may not be the case here, your eldest sister behavior suggests to me that you and your middle sister need to be more proactive when it comes to your mother's care, her power of attorney, and her last will and testament. A family law will advise you on all those things. Please do not acquiesce and allow one sibling to dictate your remaining parents' care. Talk to your mother, stay involved, and try not to allow months to go by without any contact on her. In the meantime, perhaps you can have a talk with your middle sister about holding your own memorial service for your father so you can properly say goodbye. All right? Tracy is shady. Tracy is shady. All right. I'm going to pull this video up. It is a doozy. It is a doozy. I do doozies over here. And let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah. So I downloaded this and and D, let me know if the noise is too much in the background. Um Let me pull this over to here. Let me take my headphones. All right, it may not be too bad. We're gonna turn this up. Um, I don't have a way. Well, yeah, it's up there. All right, this one is a doozy. Let me blow this out. And it says the title is "I regret leaving my wife for another woman." But there's some twists and turns in this story, and um, feel free to comment away on this story. I hope you enjoy. Let's go. Let me know if you can hear the sound, D.
All right, let's go out to Raleigh, North Carolina, and talk to Dan, the man. What's up, Dan?
Hey, how are you, sir?
Outstanding, brother. Outstanding. So, man, what's happening?
So, again, let me preface this by saying I know I'm not the good guy here. I'm just trying to, figure out how to get my life back.
Cool.
All right, he said, "I'm not the good guy here. I'm just trying to figure out how to get my wife back." But let's get more into how did he lose his wife?
What happened, man?
So, about a year ago, I entered into an affair with someone at work.
Okay.
And blindsided my wife and moved in with another woman. And for this last year, we've had our ups and downs. We've had some communication issues and a lot going on. Now, well, I guess not now, but ultimately, she had a child who was just over a year old.
So he had an affair at work, moved out of the house from his wife, moved in with this woman who already had a child, a 1 year old. And he goes on to talk about how he raised his child too. So just putting it out there. He's moved out of the house. He's all in love. He cupcaking it up. He done moved into the house with the new lady. As he done moved into the house with the new lady, she also has a child too, right?
And I raised this child like my own. And the father was in the picture. He's a good dad. He's there. But it's caused some issues in the fact that around Christmas time, we decided that we wanted to do one Christmas because I saw how having two separate Thanksgivings, it devastated the mom. And ultimately, he never left. He sort of just moved in and then.
All right. So Christmas time, Thanksgiving, he saw that it was a situation where the two Thanksgivings was too much. So Christmas time came up. The father of the child comes over for Christmas, and they're all having a great time and stuff like that. And so the father of the child moves into the house with them. So now is Dan the man, the father of the child, and the mama and the child in the house. Foolish Finance Fridays. Get into it.
We made it official, so it was me, I guess my girlfriend, and the father of her child under one roof, along with the toddler. And there was always, some friction there. Again, he was a nice guy, but it was just a very weird dynamic.
You think?
Yes.
There had to have been a point when you were thinking, like, just sitting on the toilet, just scrolling Instagram. You were like, this probably is not a great idea.
Yeah, well, I'm not big into social media. I stay away from that.
Well, good God Almighty, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, at some point, you were like, this is a terrible idea. So, was your wife? Was your girlfriend? Were y'all like a throuple? Were y'all all in this together, or was she dating two guys? Or
she was just dating me. But
so he said she was just dating him. He go to work. The daddy of the child at home with her and the toddler or whatever. And he said no, she didn't do nothing with him. That ain't what she was doing. She ain't do nothing with him. Now, I know part of the story. I'm not gonna give it all away. Let's just say the daddy that moved in didn't have no money either. You put two and two together. So Dan the man was taking care of her and the daddy and the child. Foolish Finance Fridays. He's still married though. Let's go.
No way. Of course she hooked back up with him.
No. It was very weird, but it wasn't like that. He had a lot of debt and he didn't have anywhere else to go really. And she didn't want to take time away from him with his child, or at least that was her thought process.
There was no thinking going on at all. But okay, so bring me to now.
Yeah.
So let me just recap. So you're married. How long were you married?
It was going to be 8 years in August of last year.
So it's 7 years. You bailed, and
so the wife need to hold on for 2 more years. Don't file for divorce. Somebody call her up and tell her don't file. Who in Raleigh? Call her up, find her. Find her, tell her don't file. Tell her to wait 2 more years. Don't file. Don't file, lady. Don't file, lady. Don't file. Tell them you playing. Nah. I still love you. I still want you. We still together. Don't file.
Moved in with somebody that at work. So you met somebody at work. You fell in love. She was your girlfriend. You moved out on your wife. Just blindsided your wife. Moved out. Did you divorce your wife, or did y'all just get separated?
We are currently separated.
Oh, so you're not officially divorced.
Yeah, correct.
Why hasn't she filed on you or you on her?
Well, we're doing a simple divorce. So we've been a year apart, and then it should be a pretty simple process there because no one's trying to get anything from anyone.
Oh, I forgot. North Carolina's got some of the stupidest rules when it comes to that crap. So then you move in with this woman and you have normal relationship.
The wife ain't got to pay for his child support, Evelyn. That child is not his by that girl. She already had that baby. So she don't have no child support on that end.
Issues.
But you probably saying child support with him. I get it.
Probably some good times and probably some what in the world times. And she's got a 1-year-old. And then at Thanksgiving, there's 2 different Thanksgivings. And then y'all are like, let's not do that at Christmas. And so baby daddy comes to stay for Christmas and then just like moves in.
Yes. And
Jerry. All right. So then what?
That obviously, cuts down on the intimacy factor.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Believe it or not.
No way.
And
he said it cut down because the dad moved in. It cut down on the intimacy factor. You think? You think? She was like, tag team back again.
I feel like I have done everything I possibly could to make it work. I basically changed, everything I didn't do before. I tried to emphasize me doing, and it was an extremely rewarding experience. But every day I woke up, I knew that if I had tried that hard with my wife, I wouldn't be in that position.
Here come the tears.
Why'd you leave your wife?
Well, at the time, and I say this at the time because I have, hindsight of me just being a moron.
Why'd you leave your wife?
She said, she wasn't sure she was really a believer anymore.
Okay.
And she said she was that she wasn't really sure if she wanted to have kids anymore.
Okay.
But that's what I told myself at the time.
Oh no, I'm gonna pause right there. She said she was a believer anymore, this, that, and other. So you know what? When I was sitting there thinking about this right here, you know what came to mind? Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake. That's what came to mind when I came up. Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake. I can do the Justin Timberlake dances. Cry Me a River. That's what came up when I heard that. I was like, boy, Stop it. Stop. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it because it get even better.
But it was really, you know, I didn't feel like I mattered. And she was locked in. Oh, all right.
You're all right, man. You're all right. Just take a breath. Talk directly into your phone for me. I want to make sure we get all this.
She was, locked in. She had it together. We had a good life. I just didn't feel like I mattered. It didn't matter if it was there or not. I knew she had it. She's 1,000 times smarter than me, by the way, obviously.
So
why you want to be with me? I'm so dumb. I don't know why you love me, because I'm not smart as you are. You could do everything. You know how to do everything. Everyone likes you. You're just so wonderful. And I'm just the lonely little person over here. Cry me a river.
That's what I told myself.
So this happens over time, and the whole time, or at some point during this time, there's a coworker that's hilarious, kind of pretty at first, and gets more pretty over time, and
like you wouldn't believe.
Do what?
Like you wouldn't believe, John.
Yeah, laughs at your jokes. Puts your hand on your shoulder when she's telling you a funny thing, or on your forearm, just little gentle things like that. And you suddenly, for the first time in a long time, feel that terrifying feeling of alive again.
She told me I was wonderful. She told me I was the king. She said I could do all things that strengthen me. She said I was the man. I am the prize. Don't she see? Why my wife can't see that I'm the prize? Why she can't see that? See, I knew you cared about me. You love me so much that you moved your ex baby daddy into the house with us, because that's how much you love me. And his finances is effed up, but you over here in the house with her being the man. While what? Your wife at home with the kids doing what? Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
And then you can look back at your home life and come up with any number of reasons why this is the right thing, and what you've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years is the wrong thing.
Yes. Yes.
So you've burned through a year. You know that's a mess.
Yeah.
And now what?
So a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, she asked me. My girlfriend texted me, "Hey, do you want to meet at a place in Cary? It's a local town over here." And I say sure. And I go over there, and we go into the Whole Foods to get some snacks. It's not unusual for her to do this kind of thing where we just have a little picnic. And we go over, because they have a little play area where kids can play. She takes me over there, and she says, "I can't do this because our lease was coming up. It's expiring. So I can't move to a new home with you. I can't live with 2 men I'm not married to anymore, and I can't take time away from the father of my child."
City boys down bad. City girls up, city boys down bad. Down real bad. City boys going down. It's about to go down. She was like, "I can't do this no more. I'm not married to neither one of you all. I can't do this no more."
Like I can't take time away from him and his son. So that's
So you got dumped.
I got dumped, and in a split second, I lost everything I had,
Yeah.
and was blindsided. And obviously, there's some kind of larger humor here, where everything I did to someone.
Yeah. I think Alanis Morissette sang about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You left me.
And
So how can I help you right now, man?
You.
I know you're hurt, man.
I woke up the next day at a rest home. Not a rest home, like a rest area. I'm not that old.
So he woke up the next day at a rest stop. Why? He lost everything. He wakes up and he's at a rest stop. Why you at a rest stop, my G? Why you ain't go get a hotel room? Why you at a rest stop, my G? What do you think he was doing at the rest stop? Put it just real quick in the comments. What do you think he was doing at the rest stop? Put in the comments before I hit play again. What do you think he was doing at the rest stop? What do you think he was doing at the rest stop? Just real quick. Crying, homeless, what else? Asking for money. All right, let's go. We got crying, homeless, asking for money, wash it up, talking to himself. All right, let's go.
This area, and I've never felt more alone in my life. Not a single time. And I just didn't know what to do. So I texted my wife. I was like, hey, here's what happened.
He texted his wife. That's why he was at the rest stop. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have nowhere else to turn to. Who did he turn to? His wife. He turned to his wife. You ought to know.
You can track me now on Google Maps. Just keep an eye on me if you don't mind.
Calling her, telling her he may commit suicide. Keep an eye on me. Track me. Where was you at when you was over there Tootsie rolling with old girl and the guy? You was all over there Tootsie rolling with the other little baby, the toddler, and the guy. This is what she like to do. Sometimes she like to just go to Whole Foods and just pick up a little food and go have a picnic in the little play area. It just be so cute. But I know if somebody in the chat gonna take him back. I know one of you women out there will take him back. He's the father of my children. Of course I'm taking him back. There's no need to break up with me because I cheated. I moved out. So what? I went over there and played daddy to somebody else. So what? Why do you even care? You didn't care about me. You didn't reassure me like she did. You didn't make me feel like the man, the king that I am like she did. You got to take me back for 2 more years.
And then I asked if she wanted to just meet up to talk later, and she said sure. She responded immediately, and she was, bad. She's just been an absolute rock for me again, and I don't know what to do. I just want my life back. Whatever that looks like. I want to be okay.
I think you can be okay.
He
The
said,
life you had is okay.
I just want my life back. I want what I had. You don't get to go out here and play in freaking traffic with my life and then be like, surprise, I'm leaving you, bitch. Like the dog, I'm dead. I'm alive. Ooh, I'm back. You're like, you can't do that with somebody's life. And then what are the children thinking? Daddy, why you not at home? Like, what's going on? Where you at? Like, come on now. Then you gonna text the woman and then play the sob story and then be like, I might kill myself. I may delete me. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And now, who knows what y'all been into in this house? Who knows what y'all been into in this house? You been over there playing with her violin strings on her Cucharama. Playing with her violin strings on her Cucharama. And now you want to come over here and stick your willy-nilly back in my Cucharama? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ain't no telling what his willy the boyfriend or the baby daddy willy-nilly who he been sticking his willy-nilly in far as the Cucharama, and now you want to bring your Cucharama and the Cucharama residue back to me. You want to bring Cucharama residue back to me? Oh no. You keep that Cucharama and the drama.
And the longer you try to pretend the last year didn't happen, the longer you try to avoid the fact that you ripped some woman's heart out, the longer you try to not feel the fact that your heart just got ripped out, that's a recipe for disaster down the road. It's grief, it's heartache, it's shame, it's all of that.
D, you ain't got no violins to play in the background. He can't get no music.
And if you try to run past this and try to end around this thing, it will haunt you physiologically. This is not just woo-woo, this is neuroscience. It will haunt you. There is no going back. The beautiful thing is you can build something else.
I think when, a year ago, I sort of just buried myself in my work and, poured myself into my girlfriend and this child. And, I don't want to bury anything this time.
Good. But this is just me, and you're a grown up and your wife's a grown up. I'm talking to you as though you're one of my close buddies. I would tell you.
Now, okay, this is for the fellas. What do you tell a man in this situation? Your homeboy. What are y'all gonna tell your homeboy in this situation? He left his woman. She was by his side. She just didn't tell him words of affirmation, but she was still there for him. She was more action than words. What do you tell him? He wants to get back with his wife and the children. He wants to go back home. Fellas, what do you tell your homeboy? I want to hear what y'all gonna say. Is it because it's right now the way it looking? It's her fault. The way y'all would say it. But what you gonna tell her? What you gonna tell him? I want to hear what y'all gonna say. Oh, right now he a homosexual. Right now he's a homosexual. He's a homosexual right now. Fellas, y'all looking dry in the comments, fellas. Y'all looking dry. Don't be dry. Your Willy Wonka was out there Willy, and I want to be tried. Yee.
You don't get to just run back to her and say, my bad. Now, she may love you forever and be willing to take you right back and all that. I don't even know if that's what you're asking. But I think you're going to be responsible for, well, I think you're going to be responsible for a couple different things. Number one, you've got to be responsible for your healing. And of course, you're worthy of being loved, but right now you may not be worthy of dating or being married to. And you may have a lot of work to do on becoming marriage material, becoming romantically involved material. That's nothing to do with your lovability and your intrinsic worth as a person. Do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
If your wife was my close friend, I would tell her to be very, very careful with you. Because you just had your heart.
Ladies, what do you tell your homegirl? Do you tell her to be careful? Do you tell her that she needs to hurry up and make sure she got all her ducks in a row for a divorce? Does she stay and get 2 more years in so she can get some Social Security? What do you tell your homegirl? What do you tell her? Does she go after alimony? I don't know what that is down to earth. I don't know what is this supposed to be a vivacious? Is that vivacious? That's not vivacious. I don't know what that is. Vesuvius. I don't know what that is. Fellas, I ain't heard from you. Y'all didn't say what to do with the dude. Fellas, like what the dude gonna do? Don't bow down now, Jerome. Jerome. Come on, Jerome and Jesse. What? Yeah, you holding up the mirror? Let's go.
Broken and you're vulnerable.
Absolutely. And I mean, even looking back to a couple weeks ago, I just feel like it was so selfish of me to contact her at all.
No, I mean, it was, but it's selfish I guess it's technically selfish if you're drowning to scream at somebody, in the lifeguard stand and say, help me. I guess that's inherently selfish because I don't want to drown, but that's the right thing to do. I think that's a good signal to you that you've got to be about the business of making friends and getting some community in your life, and getting some accountability and some men in your life that you trust that can speak into your life. And not possibly, 100% before the day's over, calling and getting a counselor or a therapist in your community. And I know there's some great ones in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, a dear friend of mine that spoke to my wedding, who's a pastor, I called him too, and I met with him last week, and I'm meeting with him in a few hours today. So
okay, but listen, he doesn't get to be your therapist; he gets to be your friend.
Yeah,
he gets to refer you, and you have to be very intentional about asking him. I need referrals to professionals.
All right, there's more to that one. I got one more. I got a doozy. I just want you to hear the intro. I'm gonna let y'all determine this one, but let me pull it up here. Let me see. Oh, I didn't download it. Oh, I downloaded this one. Oh, but this is a doozy too, but I didn't download it. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up online. I lost $100,000 sporting bet, but I got another one. This one was good. Let me pull this down. We can finish this one, but let me do this. What's his name? Dr. John. Um, I ain't gonna play it in here, but this one was a doozy. Um, this one was a doozy. So let's go videos. Do 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 do. Not the 100K one. No, no, no. Oh, I know where I can find it at. I know, because I listened to it on my ride home from work. Let me let me do this because this one, the one I'm talking about, is a doozy. Let me pull up. Hold on. So here's one that's a doozy. I gotta pull it down right here. This one is a doozy. My husband is transitioning to a female. That's a doozy. I'm telling you, I got a whole list of them that I've been going over. Um, and let me pull up the other one. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is the one that's the doozy dude. This one is the doozy dude right here. Hold on, this one is the doozy dude right here. Let me go back to it. Let me see if I can grab it. That one is good one, but this one is really good. Hold on. Let me click on it, and here we go right here. This one, I think I gotta do this one. I think I gotta do this one tomorrow or whatever. I always regretted my marriage. Let me give you the context of this one. This one is I always regretted my marriage. He said from the very first day um, that he met his wife, he never he never liked her. He was never physically attracted to her. They've been married for 14 years. He cheated on her, found him a new love, the whole nine. The wife knows about the affair. It's not still going on, but he's not physically attracted to her. He's been verbally abusive to her. They do have kids together. And on top of all of that, as it goes on in the video, the guy, Dr. John says, have people always told you what to do? He said, yes. He said, so somebody told you you needed to marry her and you got married. Somebody told you what religion you need to follow and you followed it. And he's like, yes. He's like, when I got with the new woman, she empowered me to make my own decisions. She empowered me to embrace being a man, and she helped me to become the man that I wanted to be. He was like, with my wife, I'm just not attracted to her. And I tell her I'm not attracted to her. And I tell her she should divorce me or she should leave. He was like, why don't you divorce her? He was like, I don't know. He was like, but I don't like her. I don't have sex with her. I don't want nothing to do with her like that. That one is a doozy because it gets more into the finances of it as well too, and everything. Right? That one was a doozy. And the one transitioning into a man, a woman, my husband is transitioning into a woman. That's a doozy. I told you I've been going through like these videos and stuff. I got a whole I got a whole slew. Yep, we having a show tomorrow, Casual Economists. We having a show. Let me get the $100,000 man up here. Let me get him up here. Because this one, I think this one was 19 minutes. I only think it's like 3 minutes left on this one right here. So you've heard most of it. You understand what the scenario was there. But let's do this one.
Let's go to Spencer in Fresno, California. What's up, Spencer?
Hey, John. How are you doing?
We're rocking, dude. What are you up to?
Oh, just surviving the heat.
Is it hot there in Fresno?
Oh, it's we're not close to the ocean, so it heats up a lot.
All right. Well, it's beautiful here in Nashville, so just kidding.
We'll make it over one day.
There you go. Come on over, man. Everyone else in your neighborhood's moved in, so y'all should join. Y'all should join them. So what's up, dude?
Right. My question for you is: I've had a gambling addiction, specifically to sports betting, that's wreaked havoc in my life for years. As I work on overcoming it, I'm struggling to find peace in my life and also to find life fun and enjoyable to live. How am I able to do that?
Oh, man. All right, so you read that question there, right?
I did.
All right, so just speak from your heart. What's been going on in the last few years? How long has this been going on?
Close to about 8 years.
Okay. What's your total loss?
If I'm being honest, I don't know exactly because even as I've tried to go back and look at it, it's from so many different places.
Yes.
But total, my guess is somewhere between 400,000 and 500,000.
Okay.
400,000 and 500,000. So here's another thing that you all need, and this happened with Les Brown and what's her name? Gladys Knight. Les Brown and Gladys Knight. Les Brown was like, "Boo, you gotta go." I love you, but boo, you gotta go. I love you, but boo, you gotta go. You got a gambling addiction. Gladys Knight had a gambling addiction. She was blowing money. She was out here like BMF and all of them. She was blowing money fast. So he said he's lost between 400,000 to 500,000. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what kind of work does he do where he keep getting this money, where he's getting money back like this, where he keeps spending 400,000 and 500,000, and it's over 8 years. It's over 8 years. So, why did I pick this one for Foolish Finance Fridays? Because some of you are dating people with hidden addictions and you don't even know it. And they have addictions and they don't even know it. They're good at hiding those addictions. So my challenge to you is figure out what your addictions are. Are you hiding an addiction? Right? And if someone is really good at hiding an addiction, do you think you will ever find that out? Do you think that you could tell the signs of someone with an addiction? And how do you find out during the dating phase? I'm not talking about y'all living together. I'm just talking about he got his own place, you got your own place. How do you find out if that person has an addiction? How would you know? Y'all don't have money in the same pot. Y'all not commingling assets. You're not commingling bank accounts. So how would you know? He's not borrowing money from you. She's not borrowing money from you. Everything is copacetic. How would you know? Right? How would you know? I'm not gonna hold y'all tonight so we can go through this one because we do got a show tomorrow. I'll probably do this one offline. I'm probably gonna just pull up a link, throw it in Women in Linux Slack like I did last time. We can have a conversation offline about these shows. We can go listen to the other one because I really want y'all to hear the other one. There's another one in there that's a doozy about a guy who's 630 pounds and he lived with his mama, but his mama is elderly and she about to pass, and he don't know what's gonna happen with his life once his mama die. And he's 630 pounds. If y'all want to have this more type of content, make sure y'all hit like and subscribe. Make sure y'all hit the subscription button. Don't forget, it's Foolish Finance Friday. I'm Petty T. I am your host. Again, meet me out back. We about to go run up on Big John, sitting in the parking lot. Let's go. I see y'all. Catch y'all later.